There comes a moment in life when you must ask yourself a powerful question. How much of your life has been shaped by fear rather than by your true desires? Many people spend years, even decades, making decisions based on what they fear might happen instead of what they genuinely want to achieve. Fear disguises itself in many forms. Sometimes it appears as doubt, hesitation, worry, anxiety, or the belief that you are not good enough. Other times, it shows up as the constant need for approval from others or the habit of postponing important goals until the perfect moment arrives. The truth is that fear has a remarkable ability to convince you that it is protecting you when, in reality, it is quietly limiting your potential. Every dream begins to shrink when fear becomes the dominant voice in your mind. Every opportunity starts to look dangerous. Every challenge begins to appear larger than it truly is. Yet the most successful and fulfilled individuals are not people who never experience fear. They're people who refuse to allow fear to make their decisions. Inspired by principles often associated with Dr. Joseph Murphy, it is important to understand that your thoughts play a significant role in shaping your reality. When you repeatedly focus on what could go wrong, you train your mind to search for obstacles. You become conditioned to expect disappointment, failure, rejection, or loss. However, when you deliberately direct your attention toward possibilities, growth, and positive outcomes, you begin creating a completely different mental environment. This shift does not happen overnight, but it begins with awareness. The moment you recognize that fear is influencing your choices, you gain the power to challenge it. Ask yourself whether the limitations you believe in are actual facts or simply assumptions that have been repeated so often that they feel true. Many of the barriers that stop people from moving forward exist only in their imagination. They are built from past disappointments, negative experiences, and stories that have been accepted without question. But your future does not have to be determined by your past. Every day offers a new opportunity to think differently, act differently, and expect something better. Courage is developed through action, not through waiting for fear to disappear. In fact, fear often fades only after you take the first step forward. The decision to speak up, apply for the opportunity, start the project, pursue the dream, or trust yourself again may feel uncomfortable at first, but every courageous action weakens fear's influence. As you continue moving forward, you begin to realize something extraordinary. The confidence you were searching for was never something you needed to find. It was something you needed to build. And with every step taken in faith rather than fear, you become stronger, wiser, and more capable of creating the life you truly deserve. One of the greatest misunderstandings about fear is the belief that it exists outside of you as an unstoppable force. In reality, fear gains its power from the meaning you assign to circumstances, events, and possibilities. Two people can face the exact same challenge and respond in completely different ways. One sees an obstacle and immediately assumes failure is inevitable. The other sees an opportunity to grow, learn, and discover strengths that have not yet been developed. The difference is not found in the situation itself, but in the mindset each person brings to it. This is why controlling your thoughts is one of the most valuable skills you can ever develop. Inspired by the timeless teachings associated with Dr. Joseph Murphy, many people have discovered that the subconscious mind responds to the dominant thoughts and beliefs that are repeatedly impressed upon it. If you constantly tell yourself that life is difficult, that success is reserved for others, or that you're destined to struggle, those beliefs begin to shape your expectations and influence your actions. Eventually, you start living within boundaries that were never real to begin with. However, when you consciously choose thoughts that support growth, confidence, and possibility, you begin creating a new internal environment. This does not mean ignoring challenges or pretending difficulties do not exist. Instead, it means refusing to allow fear to become the authority that determines your future. Consider how many opportunities are missed because people wait until they feel completely ready. They tell themselves they will start when they have more confidence, more experience, more certainty, or more guarantees. Yet confidence rarely arrives before action. More often, confidence is the result of action. It is built one decision at a time. Every small victory sends a message to your mind that you are capable of handling more than you previously believed. Every challenge overcome becomes evidence that you are stronger than your fear suggested. The process may be uncomfortable, but growth has always required stepping beyond familiar boundaries. Think about the goals that matter most to you. Think about the dreams you continue to postpone. Think about the possibilities that excite you, but also make you nervous. Those feelings of uncertainty are not necessarily signs that you should stop. In many cases, they are signs that you are standing at the edge of personal expansion. Fear often appears whenever you are about to enter a new chapter. It emerges before major decisions, meaningful opportunities, and significant breakthroughs. Instead of treating fear as a warning to retreat, learn to view it as a signal that growth is possible. The people who create extraordinary lives are not fearless individuals. They simply make a commitment to move forward despite uncertainty. They understand that waiting for perfect conditions can become a lifelong trap. The future belongs to those who are willing to trust themselves, take the next step, and continue moving forward even when every answer is not yet visible. When you adopt that mindset, fear gradually loses its control and a new level of freedom begins to emerge within you. Another important truth about fear is that it often survives because it is never challenged. Many people spend years adapting their lives around their fears rather than confronting them directly. They avoid difficult conversations, postpone meaningful goals, and settle for situations that no longer fulfill them because remaining where they are feels safer than stepping into the unknown. Yet every time fear successfully influences a decision, it grows stronger. It begins to create the illusion that it is protecting you from danger when it is actually preventing you from experiencing growth, fulfillment, and opportunity. The longer this pattern continues, the more normal it becomes. Eventually, people forget what it feels like to trust themselves completely. They start measuring their possibilities according to their fears instead of according to their potential. This is why it is essential to understand that courage is not a personality trait reserved for a fortunate few. Courage is a skill that can be developed through consistent practice. Inspired by the mindset principles associated with Dr. Joseph Murphy, you can begin transforming your relationship with fear by first recognizing that your imagination is one of the most powerful forces in your life. The same imagination that creates worry can also create confidence. The same mind that pictures failure can learn to picture success. Every day, whether consciously or unconsciously, you are rehearsing future experiences in your mind. If those mental rehearsals are dominated by fear, uncertainty, and doubt, your emotions and actions will naturally follow. But when you begin rehearsing success, progress, and positive outcomes, you gradually create a new pattern of thinking that supports rather than sabotages your goals. This does not mean every challenge will disappear or that every outcome will unfold exactly as planned. Life will always contain uncertainty. Unexpected events will occur. Obstacles will appear. However, your greatest strength lies not in your ability to control every circumstance, but in your ability to control your response. The moment you realize that you possess this power, a remarkable shift begins to take place. Instead of asking, "What if everything goes wrong?" you start asking, "What if everything works out better than I imagined?" Instead of expecting disappointment, you begin expecting growth. Instead of focusing on limitations, you focus on possibilities. This shift may seem simple, but it has the potential to transform every area of your life. Your confidence increases because your attention is no longer fixed on worst-case scenarios. Your energy improves because you are no longer carrying the constant weight of imagined problems. Your decisions become stronger because they are guided by purpose rather than by fear. Most importantly, you begin discovering abilities, strengths, and opportunities that were hidden behind years of self-imposed limitations. Fear wants you to believe that safety is found in standing still, but true security is often found in growth. The more you trust your ability to adapt, learn, and overcome challenges, the less influence fear has over your future. Step by step, thought by thought, and decision by decision, you create a life that is no longer controlled by fear but guided by confidence, faith, and possibility.